Yes. Okay. Can I start my class without the students? Yes. I will be sharing my screen. Let the student join the class. Yes. There are only 2 participants. So, yes, in the previous class, we have discussed about what are the various functions of advertising and what is advertising meant for, and how an advertisement communicates the information with the consumers, why there is a need for advertisement, whether the advertisement only can bring the customers to buy the products and services, etc., or not. That along with advertisements, what are the other forms of communication a company or an organization adopts to reach its target groups? So when you are speaking about the advertisements, generally advertisement or advertising is a paid form of communication that we have discussed in the previous class. And this advertisement is something, it has like it informs the target group or the consumers. Like if you see about the what you call product, a product, we are speaking about a product. It has 4 P's. We speak about price, promotion, product. Something they launched for satisfying certain needs of the consumers. So here, a product, when it is serving the different kinds of needs of a consumer, it has a price to which is tagged with the product, and the consumer has to pay the price to buy or adopt this products. And when you are speaking about the place is something where your product is going to be available for the consumers to buy, consumers or the customers to buy or use your services. And promotion is the another P when it comes to the 4 P of marketing mix. Here, the other P is something promotion. So all those promotional channels or promotion is something where you are going to communicate about your product with your consumers. So the advertisement here that fits in, and this is widely accessible media form for many of the consumers or the customers. So if a product is launched, generally we come to know about the product or a service only with the help of various communication channels. It can be an interpersonal communication like personal selling, where where a representative of a company is going to the consumer or the target group and convincing them or explaining regarding the product, its advantages, and the consumer might be influenced by the communication, and he may buy the service or the product, and he may use it in his life to satisfy the his own needs which the product is going to satisfy. So here, along with the advertisement not only merely provides information to the consumer, and it creates awareness regarding the products and services which are available in the market for the end user or the consumers. But the advertisement cannot make the consumer to buy the product. So many of the times the consumers are misled by the advertisements or its content or its whatever maybe the images which are portrayed or the advantages which are being shown in your advertisement. And because of that, the advertisements are being criticized, and many of us may come to know about the product, but when you are making decisions regarding the using a service or a product, then we may look for other advantages and the quality of the product or quantity of the product or the quality of service an organization provides. For example, if it is an educational institution, how far, what kind of teaching faculty we have, what kind of facilities there are there in the institution, how the course is offered, what is the course structure, how much fee you have to pay for maybe going to that college to go for maybe getting a degree from that particular organization. So there are a lot of things which influence the individuals when making the decisions regarding services or the product. The same way, as an individual, we are also might be influenced by the advertisements, but the advertisements might provide the required information regarding the services or the products which are launched by different companies to satisfy different kinds of the needs of the individuals. And along with the advertisements, we also use like something called integrated marketing methods or marketing communication, where the organization takes into account all the possible promotional methods into account to sell their products or to make the people aware of their products and services which are offered by that particular company. So here, along with the advertisement, people or the marketing organizations or via personal or maybe the individual organization, they use other methods also. Along with that, they may go for exhibitions where they can showcase their products and services, or they can go for personal selling method where they can directly reaching the consumers with the products and services, or else they can use PR. Again, PR where the PR professionals might organize a press conference or may release the press notes to the media organizations to come and cover their organization and whatever they launched for the consumers, etc. So here, again, there is something called a publicity where the information is disseminated in the form of the news by the media organizations regarding the particular organizations or a company or its products, etc. So here, there are many methods which an organization adopts to sell their products and services. So the primary function of an advertisement is communicating the information to the consumers or the customers, persuading them to buy their products and services and influencing them to with the right kind of information which may motivate the end users or the consumers to buy the products and services offered by this particular company. So here, uh, even the advertisement is the primary function is to increase the sales of the our company, which launch those kind of products and services. And it also promotes the goodwill of an organization, creates a brand image among the consumers, or it also builds the corporate image of a company or organization. So, and along with that, the sales promotion is also used by the organizations where they provide discounts or maybe what do you call free gifts or other forms where they It is a one-time kind of communication which they disclose to the consumers, and where the consumers will be influenced with the kind of offers the company is giving when they buy certain kind of goods and services, etc. And with that influences the consumer to buy and come adopt the uh, products or buy the products and services offered by particular companies. So we have discussed about this advertising. What is advertising? It is a paid form of non-personal communication by an identified sponsor to sell his products and services among the consumers or the customers. So today we'll learn about uh, what kind of types of advertising which is being done by these organizations, etc., to reach out their consumers or the customers. So here, whatever it may be, the classification, there are different kinds of methods also incorporated in a single ad, but based on the function or based on the region, even based on the target market, based on the demand, based on the media, based on whether it is a display or classified, whether it is a retail advertising, financial advertising, corporate, public service advertising, and political advertising. These are different kinds of advertising, the types of advertising which we come across, and different organizations will go for different kinds of advertisement or a combination of advertising which they choose to reach out their target groups or the consumers. Then when you see the classification by the region. So region is nothing but a geographical area which where you are going to reaching your consumers, whether it is a global advertising or whether you are going for national advertising or regional or local advertising. So as there are with the emergence of these multinational companies or firms which are producing different kinds of products and services which are offering. Generally, there are these kind of MNCs or multinational companies, etc. They go for global market. They want to reach the global markets with the advertising. So when they are reaching these global markets throughout the globe, if you are going for advertising, whether it can you are maybe choosing online advertising or whether you go for based on maybe as the advantage of television or radio now, or even advantage of the online radio platforms, etc., you can reach your consumers throughout the globe. So here, global advertising is nothing but where you are uh, providing advertisements to reach out the global consumers. So there are various magazines people the globe may choose like Time Magazine or Far Eastern Economic Review or Span or television channels like satellite television channels, private channels that again includes entertainment channels and also the news and current affairs channels. Uh, then they may go for the radio advertising also. So all these advertising is done to reach the end users who are scattered throughout the geographical area. And there are supermodels and Hollywood actors who are playing a major role in promoting those goods and services offered by those kind of companies which have its consumers throughout the globe, like IBM, Sony, Samsung, Ford, or whatever, which have global consumers. And to reach those global audience or the global consumers, etc., companies they look for reaching with their advertisements to the global consumers to convince them to buy their products. And when it comes to your national advertisement or national advertising, etc., your advertising is done at national level to increase the demand for the products and services offered by different kinds of organizations through selected media. So the media, whatever which reaches the national level or covers a nation, etc. Based on those kind of media channels, they go for advertising. So generally, a large established firms, etc., may go for national advertising, like for example, Whirlpool, BPL, Hindustan Lever, Larsen and Toubro, and many other companies which may go for advertising at national level as they have consumers or the customers throughout the nation. And when it comes to a regional advertising, a manufacturer confines himself giving an advertisement to cover a specific geographical area. It could be a state, it could be a region, or it could be a district, etc. So here, when they are reaching a certain kind of regions only, they are confining advertising to a certain region. That is, we call it as a regional advertising. And it is generally done by the manufacturers and wholesalers and also the retailers of the particular firms or organizations. And like those products which, for example, what we have, Nirma or whatever, those products might be only consumed by people in a specific geographic area, like region or a state, etc. In those kind of cases, for example, like saris, most of the time, the in India we may go for advertising regarding these saris which are to be wear by the women, etc. But when you want to go for national, maybe the uh, global advertising, etc., the saris people might not wear in other countries. So, which means you can confine based on the kind of products you are offering for your consumers, whether it can you have consumers at regional level, local level, or maybe layer global level, etc. Based on that, you have to go for advertising. And when it comes to local advertising, it is done only for one area or a city where you want to reach out your target local population, which would regularly visit your retail shops or maybe the uh, shopping malls, etc. So here it is generally done by the retailers to persuade their consumers to come and visit his store regularly and to purchase the products of a particular brand or different kinds of brands which are available in these shops or shopping malls, etc. Then when you see the classification by their functions, generally the functions as we have discussed in the previous class also, like it informs the consumers. When the a company launches a new products or a service, or if it is an idea, it has to be disseminated among the public, etc. It first wants to inform the consumers about this products and service or an idea. So, for example, when a new product launches, or maybe iPhone, etc., maybe the new iPhone just comes into the market, etc., you may go for informing the consumers about its advantages or the new features, etc. Or if a new service is offered by a company, etc., then you go for advertising, informing the consumers about what purpose the product serves or what kind of services a company is or maybe will be providing to its customers. So when it can be an idea, like in the previous class I said, there are new innovations which are coming into the market, and or maybe the society can be also an idea or a practice also. That is something like wearing a mask when the COVID attacked. So that was an idea that was the prime important information that was disseminated when the COVID first case was identified in our country. So here even maintaining the social distance was also an idea that is disseminated with the help of the advertising. It can be a display advertisement, or it can be in personal advertising, or maybe testimonials or through in-film advertising. There are various ways where the organizations, the government, volunteers, NGO organizations, etc., all of them communicated their information to reach out each and every individual in society to change their behavior, to protect themselves and the family. And when you see the advertising also persuades the consumers to buy the products and services and also the ideas. And here, uh, to remove the cognitive dissonance in the minds of the consumers and to reinforce the feeling that they can buy or the best use of their products and services and ideas or organization or a company, etc. The advertising is also done. And reminding advertising those who are promising consumers or the customers, they would be reminded of the products which are available in the market so that the consumers will come and buy the products. And yesterday, advice against also regarding certain things. And here, maybe we can also go for advertising. Most of the social advertising is done in this form. So, like based on the function just now we discussed, informative advertisements, like based on the function, how whether it is persuading, whether it is informing the audience, whether it is reminding the audience of the promising consumers to buy the products, etc., or it is about the social advertising, like avoiding certain things, etc. So, informative advertising informs the consumers about the products, services, and ideas a firm or an organizations would go for advertising to inform their promising consumers or the target groups. And persuasive advertising is it persuades the consumers or your customers, motivates them to buy your products or to make quick decisions regarding buying of their products and services offered by a company. For example, buy one and get one free offer that if that is advertised by an organization, it influences the consumer to buy the product. It can be done in the form of, again, we will discuss the types of advertisements. Like display ad, it can come, or it can be in the form of a classified ad under a section, or it can be maybe depending on the organization, they may go for 4 days or maybe outdoor advertisements also. It can be a combination of everything, but an advertisement is something which persuading the promising consumers to buy and uh, to buy the products or services offered by the company. And when it comes to the remainder advertising, it reminds the existing consumers or the customers to become the medium or heavy users of a particular products and services offered by a firm or a company that have been purchased by them at least once. Okay. When it comes to the social advertising, like just now we have discussed, to avoid certain kind of behavior also we may advertise all those like advertisements which tells the audience or the consumers of tobacco or alcohol, or those who are the users of drugs, etc., to avoid that behavior, like how it maybe the advertisements which will tell the consumers to avoid those kind of products which are harmful for their health. So that is something which falls under the social advertising. It is done for the benefit of those target audience who generally purchase these tobacco or alcohol, or they take drugs that would affect their health. So here the advertising is done to motivate them to avoid those kind of behavior so that they can protect themselves, and it helps the family also to survive. As most of the family members depend on the other family member if he is the head of the uh, family. So here it is a classification again when it is done on the target group, whom you are targeting, who are your target customer or a person who to whom the information or the advertisement is meant for. For example, consumer product advertising, it is something where you are only targeting on the consumer and you are convincing them or persuading them or influencing the consumer to buy the products and services which are offered by your company to satisfy their personal needs. So here, like you may want to buy some kind of cosmetics, or you may want to buy a computer, or maybe you want to buy certain shirts or maybe kurtis, etc. Then here the company is looking after only the consumers because they are your target group. So you might be providing information to your consumers with the help of these advertisements. And when it comes to the industrial advertising, it is generally also called as business to business advertising. It is done by the industrial manufacturers to reach out his distributors or the resellers, etc., so that he may do the business of providing his own products to these distributors or retailers so that he may his company may get profits. So here his target is the one who are into the business. When it comes to the trade advertising, it is done by the manufacturers to persuade the wholesalers and retailers to sell their goods and services. So here again, different kinds of media platforms are used by the organization, by these manufacturers to reach out the promising retailers and wholesalers with the distribution of or the distribution uh, based on the distribution channels which are available for the marketers. Then professional advertising, it is done by the manufacturers and distributors to influence the professionals who are a particular in buying those kind of products and services. For example, professional advertising is done to reach out to your niche, what you call a specific consumers. For example, if you want to buy, maybe sell your medicines or the equipment which is needed for doctors or engineers or maybe the teachers, etc., or civil engineers or contractors, architectures, etc., then you may go for this professional advertising, which exclusively targets its consumers like doctors, engineers, or teachers. So doctors might need a professional equipment like CT scanners or maybe testing toolkits or injections or medicines or the beds which are required to be kept in hospitals, etc., or engineers, etc., whatever they need, or teachers, like if you want to sell your books or teaching study materials or chairs or computers, etc., then you may target your teachers or teaching professionals who are there in running the educational institutions. So those who run these educational institutions would be your target group. So like that, we may also, the manufacturers also can do the advertising, professional advertising to reach out to their promising consumers. Then financial advertising. It is generally done by the banks or financial institutions and corporate firms they issue advertisement to mobilize funds from the market. For example, banks also may uh, give advertisements to recently banks launched the interest increase the interest rates and asking the consumers to invest in their banks in the form of the FDs, etc. So it is something which is persuading the promising consumers to come and may go for putting an FD, whatever the amounts they have. So like that, it is dealing, the financial advertising is most of the time is done by the financial institutions who are there in the society. Then based on the demand, whether it is a primary demand or a selective demand advertising. So the primary demand is something where you go for generic advertising. Here, the primary demand is demand for the product or service rather than for a particular brand. So immediately, for example, if you have a hospital, immediately what you need for the patients, etc., is a medical shop. So here they may not go for looking at the different kinds of brands which are available in your medical shop, but immediately they will only want to have a medicine to treat that particular disease which is being affected to a particular person. So here, uh, that is immediately something with a product that satisfies the need of your consumers. That is a primary demand advertising that is generally done also to promote new products. And selective demand advertising is done by the companies and dealers to increase the demand for a particular product of a company or a brand of a company. There, most of the time, they advertise their own brands which are offered by what particular companies. It can be any form. They can go for again outdoors or billboards or hoardings, or they can go for display advertisements or giving coupons, or they can go for any kind of advertisement again they choose. Or they can choose different kinds of media platforms to reach out their consumers. It depends on the kind of amount they spend on promoting their products. And when you go based on the media channels or what kind of media platforms you are using for giving your advertising, etc. The advertisements are again advertising is categorized into various types, like print media advertising. Again, that includes newspapers and magazines, and print medium where the advertisements are printed in the newspapers and magazines. The main difference between the newspaper and magazine advertising is the periodicity of its publications. Like a print medium, you might also have a daily newspapers or maybe the weekly newspapers also you might have. Again, when morning news, generally the mainstream newspapers, tabloids, or you may have evening newspapers, community newspapers also you might have. And, and you might have newspapers, financial newspapers, or you may have general newspapers, mainstream newspapers also. So financial advertising is most of the time done in the financial newspapers based on the consumers whom it is going to reach, etc. And the general kind of advertising is done in all the newspapers. And even you have a specialized magazines uh, which sells particular products and services which are targeting different kinds of sections of people, etc. Then you will also have magazines like fortnightlies, weeklies, or monthly magazines, or quarterly or biannually magazines. Again, the print mediums like newspapers and magazines. Based on the language, also you may have Hindi, English, regional languages, whatever maybe. And all these kinds of mediums are targeted by the manufacturer or company to reach out their promising consumers with the help of the print medium or any other medium. Like if you want to reach the local consumers, etc., maybe you may go for the regional advertising where you can choose your mediums, mediums which are in the local language or the regional language to disseminate that information to your consumers. When you see the other medium, based on the medium, you have like broadcast media channels that includes your television and also the radio. So here, whatever the radio commercials, so the commercials were introduced with the Vivid Bharati service in which is a network of All India Radio for the first time, and we have many FM channels, and the FM also is now affordable mediums. Like radio set is affordable to many of the consumers in our country. Even below the poverty line, people also can afford to have a radio set. Or else the radio medium you can, which is also available in your phones. When you tune into a particular radio station, you can listen to the programs. So here, because it is when you compare with the other form of advertisements like television, broadcast media advertisement, radio is you can advertise with a lesser price also because of that. It is, and also because of the regional language, which is FM channels you have, many of the marketing the organizations will go for radio advertising also to reach out their promising consumers. Then television advertising, when you compare with all forms of communication, television advertising is more powerful because you can, as it has a audiovisual medium where a product can be demonstrated among the consumers very easily, and people may see the advantages if it is in the form of the visual, the advantages of a particular product or how it looks for if it is a product. So, but when you compare to the other forms of advertising, when you want to go for television commercials, making these advertisements is a cost consuming, and if you want to transmit these television commercials through the television networks also, you have to spend a lot of money to reach your consumers with your whatever the television commercials or television advertising. And outdoor advertising, again, it can be in the form of anything like board, hoardings, billboards, or what you can have electric displays. All these are coming under the outdoor media. Or pamphlets also you can use, posters also you can use as part of your outdoor media. So here, the outdoor media or advertising is where you are reaching with your content, where in the outdoors, even people can come to know about your products and services with this kind of outdoor media while they travel over the roads, etc., or if they witness some kind of posters on your walls, etc., or billboards and signboards. When they look at them, they will consume the content. But hoardings, if you see, they have uh, the size of the hoardings is normally very large, and it can be visible from a distance for the consumers. It can be anything, any product or any service which is offered by any kind of company, where if you look at the hoardings, you might have the logo of the company, you will have nice pictures and the text which is attracting the consumers to buy the service or the product. And even it is visible for the consumers from a distance. That is the advantage of this outdoor media. But the one disadvantage is you have to run through the uh, place, then only you can see it, the things are visible for you. And internet, it is with the emergence of internet also, that is led to the advertisers even to go for online advertising. It is many of the people based on the target groups, like whoever is your promising consumer, like youngsters, most of the youngsters might be using your social media platforms where we get advertisements where people might consume your content and might be influenced by the content which you are using. And when it comes to your classified and the display advertisements, classifieds generally are text-based advertisements where they appear in under certain sections. Like if you want to go for automobiles or situational vacant or matrimonial things, if you want to advertise or maybe anything. So this depending on they will appear under the different classifications. So here, generally, it is the cost of your advertisement is very cheaper when you compare with the display or hoardings or maybe go for the television or radio advertising, etc. So here you will only pay for the number of words which are going to be printed in the newspaper under the classifieds, or it will be in the form of what you call a small column, where that would provide you the information to your promising consumers or the customers. It is generally uh, those who are looking for example, situational vacant, etc. Then those who are looking for the situational vacant, they can go and read that content. Those who are looking for the automobiles, they could go for. When people are going for to know where the rentals are available, toilets are available, they can just go to the section and they can come to know about the information. uh, then you have display advertisements. So when you compare with the classified, display advertisements is a type of advertisement where so it can contain the photographs and other information, location maps, and also uh, the text. So it can also have the text, visuals, logos, and photographs, and even eye-catching visuals and the text that would attract the consumers to buy your products. They would be influenced by your content. When you compare with the classifieds, it is more appealing than the classified. Uh, and also the display advertisement need not sometimes necessarily have the visuals, but if there is only a text that can communicate the information, people may go for text also in the display advertisements. And here, like even the textual advertisements which we get over our phone, mobile devices or email also, that is also falls under the advertisement. The text also can be part of your billboards, hoardings, flyers, or maybe the posters, uh, tents or scale of moods or whatever transit cards, or it can be in the, any of the form which might only contain the information or the text, or it can also contain the other information like logos, captions, location map, whatever. When it comes to your retail advertising based on the product advertising, retail advertising just refers to the advertising that is done by a retail trade such as shopping malls, large retail brands, stores, supermarkets, etc. They also go for advertising to create a kind of image about the outlet among the consumers, and to establish their location, exact location where it is there and what kind of products which are going to be available in the market, or maybe the highlight the special offers which are going to offer by those kind of supermarkets, shopping malls, or retail traders, etc. And what are the advantages, like giving sales coupons or offers, discounts, all that information is something which they provide in this retail advertising to reach their consumers. They can also use uh, newspaper as a medium of platform, or they can go for hoardings, SMS, even the transport medium, bus bags or auto bags or anything. Whatever the means of communication which can reach their promising consumers, etc., that is being done by the these owners of the shopping malls and others. And industrial advertising, it is just done for selling the industrial goods and services to its promising manufacturers, or it is done by the manufacturers to reach out their promising dealers or retailers, agencies, which would buy the products. And exclusively when it is industrial marketing, etc., advertising, other people may go for the trade magazines or journals, or they may use direct mail communication or exhibitions, trade or general any other publications they may bring out to reach the target groups. And when it comes to your government advertising, it is generally done by the governments to reach out the promising voters or the general public in the society, to create a kind of positive image regarding the government among the uh, members of the society. So it is generally done by the government. Government advertising is done generally to highlight the welfare schemes which are launched by the for the benefit of the common public, etc., over the years, what they have done for the public, etc., to change the perceptions, or to maybe the gain positive public opinion among the members. So here it is also the government also launches the advertising campaigns to address specific issues which might affect the public also, like going for social advertising, like maybe promotion of health, recruitment, or all that road safety measures which are taken up by the government. That is also can be the part of the government advertising. And here generally the government advertising is done to build a kind of positive image among the public. So government advertising, again, it uses all the means of communication channels which are available, like newspaper, television, radio, web, cinema, and hoardings, whatever, billboards, whatever it may be, to convey the message to the consumers or the common public in the country or in the state. Then government advertising, when it comes to the national organization, what we have, that DABP, Directorate of Advertising and Visual Publicity. It is an organization. It is under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. It is a government advertising agency, and whatever the information which the government want to disseminate, that is being communicated with the help of this DABP to the target groups. And here they use various media platforms like radio, TV, press, publications, and advertising in online also. All those means of communication they use to reach out the public now in the country. So here they try to see that wide coverage is given to all that whatever the activities of the government among the public. So here again, when it comes to the norm of your DABP, it would avoid releasing advertisements through newspapers and journals which incite to tend to promote communal passion or a breach of privilege of the uh, privileges of the houses of the parliament or state legislature, then anything which affects the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of the country, anything which is socially accept against the socially accepted norms of public, and anything which affects the public decency and morality, etc. All that the DABP would avoid in promoting with their whatever may be the network of channels. And here the government is the biggest advertiser in our country. It spends a lot of money to promote its activities and schemes which are launched for the public, etc. And even for the media institutions, it is a something which gets a lot of revenue from the government advertising. When it comes to the financial advertising, it is refers to the advertisement of financial instruments such as shares, bonds, bank deposits, and savings schemes, units, and mutual funds, etc. It is most of the time done by the organizations which are into the finances, like banks or financial institutions, whatever, like Mother Finance or maybe Malabar Gold, Manappuram, or all those banks which are there in the country, or maybe the uh, private organizations which would provide loans to the consumers, etc. All those go for this financial advertising. It is generally financial advertising is generally sometimes done for one time, uh, and to after launching that particular scheme or anything, they may not go for advertising. And to reach out their target audience in financial advertising is done limited and identifiable consumers. They want. When it comes to your corporate advertising is generally done by all those organizations to create a positive image or a brand image, or increase or enhance the reputation of their organization, and to promote goodwill among the members of the society regarding the organization, etc., or to promote their philosophy instead of for sales promotion, etc. They go for corporate advertising. It is done by the organization to influence internal and also the external stakeholders of your organization. For example, if it is uh, an educational institution, they advertise regarding the admissions, where they will speak about when it is established, what kind of courses it offers, and what is its fee structure, and who are the one who are passed out or got different kinds of ranks in their courses, or who are the stalwarts of the institution, etc. All that is being done, or they can go for how the CSR activities are being undertaken by these organizations to promote a kind of positive image among the all the public. So it is more focused on creating a positive public image of a corporate organization or an organization, or it can be any other institution. They this advertising is designed to sell ideas related to the corporate values of an organization, and most of the time it is done to enhance the image of a company or reputation of an organization. This corporate advertising is done. When it comes to a public service advertising, just now we spoke about the social advertising. So public service advertising is also a social advertising, where this public service advertising is done as a part of the social responsibility by the advertising agencies or business organizations, or even the government or social service organizations also. So like there are various social issues, maybe to change the perception of people or to make them to avoid certain kind of behavior, etc. The social advertising is done. Like, for example, don't drink and drive. It is something where you are targeting on the people so that if they don't drink and drive, it protects themselves and also the family members, etc. And if it is advertising regarding the AIDS, use of contraceptives, or maybe the uh, it is relates to the schemes which are offered by the government, etc. Maybe National Calamity Relief Fund or birth control going for family planning, etc. Maybe promoting education. All this is a part done as part of the public service advertising. So here, this is a non-profit motive. It is only done for the benefit of the common public or the public. There is no commercial element which is involved in public service advertising. So here, uh, even the advertising and marketing campaigns which are launched through the media, even the media organizations themselves also launch, like for example, earlier uh, uh, television channels like launched like Save Tiger campaign, or maybe the it is released to the eradication of caste system, or the maybe to eradicate the social discrimination in the society, or protecting the uh, children, or maybe what do you call this, eradication of child labor, or change the perception of people relates to women, or improve the status of women. So there are many things which can be a part of the social advertising or public service advertising. And public service advertising, where celebrities also play an important role in endorsing the products, or by communicating the social messages among the members of the society. For example, Pulse Polio campaign, even at present, Amitabh Bachchan is promoting go for mm, administering polio drugs to the infants or those who are below the 5 years age group. Or maybe like we have Atithi Devo Bhava, that is launched by the India Tourism Ministry, that was featuring Bollywood actor Amir Khan, urging the people to treat foreign tourists with respect, to which means to promote the India and its tourism in our country. And whatever Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, that was where the Prime Minister himself used to speak about the campaign. So all this has been your part of the social advertising, where it is meant for the common public, though there is nothing, no commercial elements are involved. Then when it comes to the political advertising, the political parties, political leaders, the candidates, etc., they go for political advertising, where most of the time, if a political organization want to showcase the positive aspects of a particular person who is going for nomination, or who is elected and in any kind of election, etc., or who got a kind of position, or to promote a positive image regarding the political party which is established in a particular state, or maybe national political parties also go for political advertising. So here it is done generally in support of a particular person, or against, or maybe to promote a particular political party or not. It depends on the way you are going for communicating with your uh, public. So it is political advertisement would be in the form of an announcement, or it may be part of a message Or the political advertising also can be in the form of publicity where the political candidates or people or the party gets a space in the news. So here, the essential task of political advertising is to gain confidence of the people and influence their voting behavior during the elections. So here, the political advertising enables the candidate to convey their positions on important issues or their opinion or their standpoint on different issues, etc. Something or the other, they want to convince these voters, the promising voters in the elections, etc., to change their behavior regarding this political party or the candidates. Most of the time, they use all kinds of means of communication channels, social advertising, online advertising, television, radio, print, all those forms of advertising they go for to convince the audience or the members of the society to create a kind of positive image regarding the political party or the government which is there in power, or to create a kind of positive image about the candidates who are going to contest in the elections or holding different kinds of positions in the government. So this is about your different kinds of advertising that is being done by the different kinds of marketers or organizations, even the government, NGOs, or whatever it may be. We have discussed about based on the function of advertising, whether it is informative, whether it is persuading, or based on the demand, whether it is a primary demand or a secondary demand, etc., or based on the mass mediums which are using like print or maybe the broadcast media like television or radio, whether it is advertising in newspapers or magazines, whether you are going for social advertising, online advertising, or whether it is a public service advertising, social advertising, or whether it is a corporate advertising, financial advertising, etc. Uh, whether it is a display or classified hoardings, etc. So all these different kinds of advertising, the primary motive of any advertising or advertisement is to convince those your target consumers with your uh, consumers to buy your products or services, or if it is a social advertising, to promote a cause among the members of the society, etc. That social advertising is also done. Okay, I'm stop sharing here. I will also leave the session. Tomorrow we have again at 12 o'clock. We'll have the session. Thank you.